What's going on, everybody? It's your man's Koo here, and thank you for tuning into another one of my ballroom videos. We've already had a couple NBA preseason games happen, and of course, yes, I watched the little Cavs scrimmage yesterday because of D-Rose. So yeah, it's been fun to see NBA basketball coming back around. But as much as I love D-Rose, and as much as I want to see the Thunder with their new team, as much as I want to see the Warriors play, as much as I want to see the Celtics play with Kyrie, as much as I want to see all these new teams play, of course, the main team that I'm going to want to watch is my Detroit Pistons. And their preseason starts tomorrow at 7 o'clock versus the Charlotte Hornets. I don't believe it's going to be on TV, but I hope I'll be able to find a stream or somewhat, because I'll be really mad if I can't find a way to watch this game, because I've been waiting all summer to see these Pistons play. I mean, what should the Pistons fans be watching the Pistons preseason for? It doesn't count. And that's the question I'll be answering in this video. What should Pistons fans be watching in the Pistons preseason? Things that Pistons fans should be watching during the preseason that will impact us during the actual regular season. You could be watching for Reggie Jackson's knee and see if he's back to 100% and playing well again. You could be watching for Andre Drummond to see if his nose surgery actually helped him, see if he's improved anything in his game or added anything else to his game. You could even be watching for Luke Kennard, who may not get minutes during the regular season. He could prove that he should get those minutes during this preseason. Me personally believes that he should be playing right out the gate for the Pistons because he's a shooter and we cannot shoot the ball, but that's another topic for another video. There are a whole lot of other things you could be watching this Pistons preseason for, depending if you have a favorite player on there that I didn't mention, if you want to see A.B. Bradley in the Pistons uniform. But the main thing that I'll be talking about is the development and whether or not Stanley Johnson should be the starting small forward for the Pistons. I did make a previous video about Stanley Johnson and why I think he should be the starting small forward for the Pistons. I'll put that up there for you guys right there if you guys want to check that out. Of course, during the preseason, Stanley's going to have to prove what I believe about him so he can be the starting small forward. He can't go out there and stink it up and expect to be the starting small forward still. First off, it's going to be real interesting to see who Stan Van Gundy has at the starting lineup tomorrow versus the Hornets. Does he already have Stanley in there? Is it his job to lose? Is John Lure in the starting lineup and they push Tobias back down to the 3? Either or could mean nothing, but to me, if Stanley's already in the starting lineup, that must mean that Stanley's shown something throughout training camp that proved that he should be the starting small forward. But of course, we are dealing with Stan Van Gundy, who doesn't like handing things to people, so if he's coming off the bench, I wouldn't take that as he didn't show nothing during the training camp. I'm going to just take it as Stan Van Gundy wants to make it harder for him and wants him to go after it. Secondly, I'm going to want to see if Stan Van Gundy has drawn up something like to get Stanley involved. Doesn't have to have the ball in his hands, even though I would like to see what he can do with the ball in his hands. It could be like some backdoor cuts, just some motion offense, so he's not just standing around. That's what I would like to see. And it doesn't just have to be something that gets Stanley involved. Having something that just moves around and backdoor cuts gets everybody involved in the offense, which is something I thought we lacked last year. Everyone was standing around way too much, and it made people mad, like the little meeting that we had that blew up that everyone thinks was just directly at Reggie Jackson. Just standing around on offense isn't fun for nobody, so getting the ball moving, or if you even want to have the pick and roll with Reggie and Andre and just have something going on like the other side of the court, like just moving around, get everybody involved so everyone's not just standing around the whole 24 seconds. That's something I would like to see, which is something also I believe that could benefit Stanley. But of course, spreading the floor out during a pick and roll and having people in the correct spots is going to have to happen. And for that reason, I'm going to want to see if Stanley has developed a consistent three-point jumper. That's something that he has lacked. He's shown capability of hitting it. He's went through hot stretches when he is hitting it. He's also went through some pretty cold stretches when he isn't hitting it. So if he can have a consistent three-point shot throughout this preseason, I think that will just solidify him in the starting lineup just by hitting threes that he gets. Along with the three-point shot, I'm going to like to see Stanley with the ball in his hands a little bit during the preseason. I mean, it doesn't count, and last year when he came off the bench, he had the ball in his hands a couple times with the pick and roll with Aaron Baines, and I thought he was a way underrated playmaker. He made the right pass, he made a lot of good passes, and I'd like to see if he developed like a pull-up jumper, or if he's more comfortable going to the lane like I saw him do his rookie season. Those are some things that Pistons fans should be watching for during the preseason. Whether Stanley gets involved, whether he has the ball in his hands, whether he can have a consistent three-point shot, and just see the Pistons offense is a little different, because I thought we were also a little predictable last year. So having people move around not only benefits Stanley, it benefits the whole team to me. So I'm going to love to see all those things I mentioned, along with the moving of the ball, and see if we have like a different offensive set or something. But something that the Pistons fans could just enjoy right off the bat, at least I'm going to enjoy, is seeing Stanley and Avery on the perimeter playing defense together. They're both good defenders, both physical. Stanley's a little bigger, he's more physical, but that's something I think that should make Stanley automatically a starter, because having those two on the perimeter could really elevate our defense, because that's something I believe was underrated when we got Avery Bradley. Not many people outside Detroit really talk about Stanley Johnson, so people weren't really thinking about what him and Stanley could do on the perimeter. But that's something I think is going to be just absolute fun to watch. It's going to be absolute help for opposing teams to try to get to the basket on them. And that's just something that I'm going to be really happy to watch. This is what Pistons fans should be watching for during this preseason, whether Stanley can prove that he's going to be the starting small forward for this team. It's about time. It's his third year. It's his time to take a step forward and leap to that starting small forward position. It's there for the taking. I like Tobias better at the 4, so it's just like there for him. Let's see if he can prove it. I believe he's going to, and it's something that every Pistons fan should be mostly paying attention to during the preseason. That's all I have for you guys today. Do you guys agree with me that this should be the most followed storyline by all Pistons fans during the preseason? Do you guys believe that Stanley is going to prove that he should be the starting small forward? Do you guys believe that someone else should be starting there? Maybe not John Lewis. Is there someone else that you guys believe that should be in that spot? Do you guys believe that there's another storyline that maybe I mentioned and didn't mention that should be followed even more than this one that I just brought up? Let me know all of these things in the comment section below, or you guys can hit me up on Twitter, and I'll put that up for you guys right there. Of course, the most important thing is the fact that Detroit basketball is back. I've been waiting for the whole summer to see it. I've missed it. I'm going to be watching tomorrow somehow through a stream or something. I hope you guys found a way to watch. Enjoy the game. I'll see you guys in my next video, and go Pistons.